welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendra and today I'll be doing my April TBR. I cannot believe that it is already going to be the start of April. This year has already flown by. I cannot believe it. So last month I wouldn't say I was in a reading slump, but I didn't really read as many books that I really wanted to read. There was just a lot of things going on, and I'm really hopeful that this month in April I will be able to pick up my pace again and read more books. I have a stack of books here that I want to go through. These are just hopeful books that I really want to read. I have found that if I have like a stack of books, about 10 or 12 books to choose from each month, I don't feel quite as overwhelmed when I look at my shelves and there's like these books, all these books that I need to read. So if I narrow it down, I feel like I can focus more. So this is just a pile of books that I really want to get to, so let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to go through all of the buddy reads that I am doing this month. The first one I'm going to talk about is the buddy read that I do every single month with Nicole at the Girly Girl Bookworm. We do a group chat every single month on Instagram. This month, the group chat is going to be on April 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is a Monday. Let me know in the comments if you want to join. And the book that we will be reading is Too Good to Be True by Carola Lovering, and this is an adult thriller. The tagline on the back of this book says, "One love story, two marriages, three versions of the truth." And this is about a woman. She is dating this man. I believe she's engaged to him, and she finds out that he is actually already happily married. So I cannot wait to read this one. This sounds like it's going to be absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait for our discussion in the end of this month. So like I said, if you're interested in reading this one with us, let me know in the comments and I'll add you to our group chat. And the other buddy read that I'll be doing is The Exiles by Christina Baker Klein, and I'll be reading this one with Ashley from Smashly Reads on Instagram. And this is about a woman in the 1840s. She lives in London, and she finds out that she is pregnant with her employer's son, and she ends up getting arrested and has to go to prison, and then she finds out that she's being exiled to Australia. So this sounds like it's going to be really interesting, and I'm really excited to buddy read this one. The next book that I plan to read is Mother May I by Jocelyn Jackson. This is about a woman. She sees this older lady staring in the window of her infant son, and then one day when she goes to pick up her daughter from school, she sees this woman again, and then her son disappears from her car. So this sounds like it's going to be really good, and I'm really excited to read this one. The next book that I'm hoping to get to is Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane, and this is an adult thriller, and this is about the student goes missing, and then months later this woman, her husband, also goes missing, and the police find out that these cases are linked. So this sounds like it's going to be right up my alley, and I'm really excited to read this one. The next book that I really want to get to is The Gracier by Kim Liggett. I've had this book for a little while and I've been dying to read it, so I'm really excited to be reading this one. I also want to mention that there's 5 of these books that I did a poll on Instagram, which I did Pretty Little Wife, and then this one, and then the next 3 that I talk about. And I just wanted, an input on what books that, other people want to hear about. So this is one of them that did win the poll, but this one is about these girls. They are told they have the power to lure grown men from their beds to drive women mad with jealousy. They believe their very skin emutes a powerful aphrodisiac, the potent essence of youth, of a girl on the edge of womanhood. That's why they're banished for their 16th year, to release their magic into the world so they can return purified and ready for marriage. Not all of them will make it home alive. I've heard this book is absolutely amazing, and this just sounds so interesting and very intriguing, so I'm really excited to read this one this month. The next book that won the polls was The Beautiful Strangers by Camille de Mayo, and this is a historical fiction set in the 1950s, and it is set in San Francisco. And this woman, she starts working at this famous hotel, and there's like filming going on for a movie there, and then while she's working there, it says that 60 years ago a guest died tragically, and she still haunts the hotel halls. I didn't know that this was like a paranormal type of story, which I'm really excited about. By the looks of this cover, it looks like it's going to be a fun summer or spring read. That's what I was hoping for, but I could be down for a paranormal type of book, so I'm really interested in reading this one, and I can't wait to pick this one up this month. The next book that I have is Long Bright River by Liz Moore. This is another thriller, and this is about two sisters. They don't really speak anymore, and one of the sisters is living on the streets and she is addicted to drugs, and then the other sister is a police officer. The police station does not know that they are sisters by any means, and all of a sudden there is a string of murders and her sister goes missing, and she is trying to figure out who the murderer is. And this just sounds like it's going to be another book right up my alley, and I've seen so many good reviews about this one, so I'm really excited to finally read this one. This next book has been on my TBR forever. I know it's been on multiple different TBRs as well, so I'm finally excited to read this one. It is Women 99 by Mcallister. This is another historical fiction, and this is set, I believe, in the 1800s, and you're following this woman. Her sister gets put into an insane asylum, and then she ends up following her inside as well, and she ends up finding out that most of the women inside this insane asylum are not actually insane. So this sounds so interesting. I really love books that are set around insane asylums, so I'm really excited to finally read this one. The next book that I'm hoping to get to is If You Leave Me by Crystal Hana Kim, and this book is set in Korea, and you're following this girl. Her village is being invaded by the communists, and her family flees to a refugee camp, and then her and her friend end up escaping this camp. So this sounds like it's going to be very interesting. I haven't read anything set in Korea before, so I'm very interested in reading this one. The next book that I really want to get to is The Night Tiger by Yangtze. This one has also been on my TBR for a very long time, and I'm really excited to finally read this one. This is set in the 1930s in Malaysia, and I believe that it is a magical realism as well. So I'm very excited to finally read this one this month. And the last book that I really want to get to is Descendants of the Crane by Joan He, and this is a YA fantasy. You're following a princess, and she ends up finding out that her father is found dead, and then she is suddenly the queen, but then she finds out that her father was actually murdered, and it was someone that she may know, so she is determined to figure out who killed her father. So this sounds like it's going to be really good, a fantasy with a mystery aspect, which I love, so I'm really excited to finally read this one. So those are all the books that I plan to read in April. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them, and also let me know what you'll be reading this month, and until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!